Good evening. Austin Mayor Steve Adler. You got a minute? We're going to go over the numbers tonight, consistent with what we've been talking about. We're in a real crisis in the city. Word needs to get out to people. You know, as I look out the window and look around the city, I'm seeing some decrease in mobility, some decrease in the number of people that are going out. But even still, I'm not sure that the message is getting out the way that it needs to. And remember, our numbers are going to continue to go up until 10 days to 2 weeks after we make a behavior change. So let's go through the numbers so that you know what they are, so that you can talk to your family and friends about the numbers that we're dealing with. Let's go ahead and begin with the dashboards. Let's begin with the first dashboard, the key indicator dashboard. We first look at this number here. We look at new admissions. It is 89. That's above our 7-day moving average of 85. Boy, we've gotten to a strange place when 89 new admissions is an encouraging number, or at least a better number than the 115 new admissions that we had yesterday. But even still, we're headed in the wrong direction, above our 7-day moving average. This 85 is what's graphed here on the color chart that you see. The number of new cases that will eventually turn in, some of them into admissions, 663, above our 7-day moving average again. More cases than we had yesterday. It was 564. We're up to 663, but importantly, just significantly ahead of the 7-day moving average. Why is it that we're having so many cases at this point? Look down here, the positivity rate that we're seeing, 17.8%. The number of people walking around with the virus right now that don't know that they have it, but are able to infect other people is so high. Remember, we're trying to get below 3% on that positivity. And here over the last month and a half, we've watched while that positivity number has just gone up. The number in our ICUs, 7-day moving average at 149. Remember, for planning purposes, we were told that at 200, that was the staff we had in place. We're still trying to get more staffing from the state so that we can flex up. We have not received that staffing yet. But let me show you, this is the 7-day moving average. Let me show you what the number is with respect to the actual numbers that we have. Let me pull up the tab again. We'll look at the second one of the dashboards. Here we are. Number in our ICUs tonight, 162. The 7-day moving average you just saw was 149. We are well above our 7-day moving average at 162. That's up 1 from yesterday. We were at 161. Number of people hospitalized, 569. The 7-day moving average is 499. 104 people on ventilators. The 7-day moving average, 91. We're at almost 54,000 cases. 564 people have passed away. That's an increase of 3 rather, over yesterday where it was 561. You can see from all these numbers, new cases reported. This was our summer peak here, and then we went down and we enjoyed going down. But in mid to late November, numbers started going up and up and up, and this is what we're looking at right now. This is where we are. These are numbers that are about equal to and by all modeling would indicate that it's going to pass where we were over the summertime. Let's go ahead and take a look at the University of Texas modeling dashboard so that you can see what it is that the modelers are saying we're looking at. So far, these models have proven to be pretty accurate, that Dr. Lauren Myers is doing at the University of Texas. The R number up to 1.37, which is pretty high. That's the way we measure how many people any given infected person is bound to infect. You want to get that number below 1. There was a time not too long ago we were down to like 0.5, 0.6. We're up at 1.37 right now. 71% more infections we expect to have in this last, or we're having now in this last 14-day period of time. This shows you hospital admissions. The aqua line is what the model is showing us. All the gray lines are all the possible scenarios. That's the mean or median line. And you can see that it's getting too close to being vertical. This is hospitalizations in the Austin area, but let's focus on ICU patients. You can see here they map out the actual data point in the dots, and you can see where we are with respect to folks in our ICUs. January 5th, 161, that was yesterday's number. So this chart model is good through yesterday. Again, this aqua line is what they anticipate. 200 is what we have the staffing to do right now. And it looks like we get to 200 just into the second week in January, on January 9th. That's obviously a concern for us and for the city. Today, Austin Public Health held a weekly press conference. The director, Stephanie Hayden, reiterated that we were in a surge, concerned that the numbers were at an all-time high. She expressed again the request that doctors and nurses in our hospitals are making. Please only go out to make an essential trip. Stay home where you can. Wear a mask. Wear a mask whenever you leave your home and you're around people that you don't live with. Please, special attention doing that when you're around extended family and friends, because that's when we seem to relax. Wash your hands. Absolutely stay home if you're not feeling well. Dr. Escott talked about the same numbers, tried to talk about it in a way that might convey the real stress that we're under. We reported 115 admissions to the hospital yesterday. That's an 83 moving average. We went up to 85 moving average tonight after he made his report. But even the 83, that was a 160% increase in new admissions in the last month. 160% increase. Hospitalizations yesterday at 574, up 166% in that month. ICU, people in our ICUs, a 99% increase in the last month. Ventilator use at 99 yesterday. Today we're at 104, but even the 99 yesterday was 130% increase in the last 30 days. This surge is statewide. This state, the state of Texas, is in a crisis right now. We need everyone to stay home, to wear their masks, to social distance, to wash your hands, avoid touching your face. As positivity increases, it's going to be harder and harder and more difficult to keep places open. And that's just not because of action that we might take here in the city of Austin. The governor set up a policy whereby if the total number of hospital space taken up by COVID exceeded 15%, automatically there were rollbacks on uses and businesses in hospitals in our community. If you got a city or a region got to 15%, 7 days in a row. There are 22 regions in the state, and virtually, as we talked about yesterday, almost all of them have reached that point. Austin hasn't reached that point yet for 7 days, but we are several days into it where we've been at 17%. We could hit that 15% mark this weekend. And when that happens in our region, restaurants, occupancies are going to get rolled back from 75% to 50%, not from anything that the city does, but from operation of the governor's order. When the governor entered in that order, I'm not sure we thought that we would have very many regions that exceeded 15%, and now almost everybody has. There are also rules that put constraints on hospitals with respect to whether they can take discretionary procedures. It also means that bars, and we're not talking about the restaurants masquerading as bars under the governor's exception, but just bars, if they were allowed to be open, then they have to close. Here in Travis County, those bars were never allowed to open because Judge Brown never authorized that use. But some of the counties that surround us, bars were allowed to be open. If we get to 7 days in a row over 15%, which is anticipated this weekend, then the bars are going to have to close even in those other counties. We are looking right now at standing up the alternate care facility at the convention center. Remember, this summer we put everything into practice so that we would have the ability to be able to do that. The numbers went down, so we were able to pull back without actually opening it. But now that we're looking at these extreme numbers, it's pretty apparent that in another week or 2 or 3, we're going to be needing extra space, and we're going to need to be relieving the hospitals of load as best we can. So conversations happening right now about how to do that, how to phase that up so that when the hospitals need us, that alternate care facility is going to be open. Austin Public Health has put a really concerted effort now in trying to get more vaccine supply from the state so that we can focus on the zip codes with the greatest susceptibility and to be able to do it at scale with hundreds and hundreds of doses of vaccine, getting it to the people with the greatest risk, getting it to the people that have the greatest chance of dying as our highest priority in our community. I have confidence that the state's going to help Austin Public Health with that supply, and then everybody in our region is going to put their shoulder to seeing how quickly we could get out thousands of vaccine doses if we're able to get it, maybe as early as next week. But remember that getting the vaccine will not be something that helps us with the present surge that we're in right now. The vaccine will help us down the road. Right now, the hospitals, the nurses are begging and imploring everybody to recognize the emergency situation that we're in, to change behaviors, to tamp down this virus, because it's going to be up to us to get past this next surge, to be in the best possible place for the vaccine to really be able to help. Please remind your friends and your families and extended families. I'm wearing the jacket and the tie because before I got a minute here tonight, the city council had its kind of administrative swearing in of our 2 new council members, Councilmember Fuentes and Councilmember Kelly. Welcome to the Austin City Council. Congratulations to Council Members Kassar and Councilmember Poole and Councilmember Alter on the re-election and again taking the oath. When the council meets for its first meeting at the end of January, we'll have a little bit better opportunity ceremonially for the entire council on the dais to welcome our new colleagues. Let me close tonight by just touching base on what was happening in the nation's capital today. Scary time. I was texting today with the mayor in Washington, D.C. Scary time, scary moment to see the visual images that we had. People storming the United States Capitol while our elected representatives were discussing the certification of the Electoral College results with the aim to disrupt that constitutionally required process as part of the peaceful transfer of power in our country. That action, anti-democratic, wrong. I think using the word insurrection is proper. because we had people storming the Capitol with the intent to stop the democratic process in our country. It was not a day that reflected well on our country in images, I'm sure, that were shown all over the world, certainly all over the country. Tonight, I'm thinking of Mayor Bowser and her city for our elected representatives in Congress. Hopefully we'll be able to further, maybe even complete this constitutional duty to transfer power peacefully. Tonight, as we sign off, I'm thinking about democracy and our country, even as we are fighting an uncontrolled spread of virus in our city. That's all I have. You all take care. Good night, and be safe.